Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be looking at the Brave browser for the iPad Pro. So I'm just going to run you guys through the features. I'm sure a lot of people are now considering making the iPad Pro their main computer. So I thought it might be helpful for some of you to actually see how some of the browsers that you're used to using work on the iPad Pro. So today we're looking at Brave. So let's get started. So one thing I hate about Brave is these Brave rewards things. I know you can turn it off, but the fact that they have it on by default is a bit annoying. Okay, so first I'm gonna look at is bookmarks. So they actually have bookmarks just open here, as in you don't have to go into any menus to find them. I'm gonna show you how you bookmark a page in Brave. Just find a website like, let's see, Product Hunt. So now we're on Product Hunt. If you wanted to bookmark a website, all you'd have to do is go to these three dots and then you just click add bookmark and it'll just ask you where you want to add it, mobile, and just save. And then you can always access your bookmarks just by clicking this button here. In terms of just scrolling around, one thing I should say, full disclosure, I'm using the MX Master 2S and the Logitech keyboard. I also will, occasionally use the touchscreen. So that's what I'm doing right now. So you can see, pinch, zoom in, zoom out. One thing that this browser doesn't do, like a lot of the browsers on the iPad, is it doesn't let you zoom out. So I'll show you what I mean by that. If you go to Safari, you can zoom out. You can just do this and zoom out. I think what this is Safari is basically using the desktop, giving you the desktop version of the browser. Whereas the stuff like this, like Brave, they're not giving you the full browser. So unfortunately, you can't do that kind of zooming in and zooming out. In terms of other settings, it's pretty standard if you've used Google Chrome. What's quite cool here is they do have Face ID, unlike Chrome. And there's a little bit more customization stuff. So for example, showing the tabs bar. So you see this bar here, this bar here. So that makes it feel a lot more like a desktop having that tabs bar, but you can of course remove it. So if you wanted a bit more space, you can remove it. And obviously the bookmark shortcut, if you didn't want it to be there and you just wanted to access it through the three dots, you can remove that as well and just have that really more minimal look to it. So one thing that I like a lot about Brave, like I was saying before, is this tab. So if you want to use it a bit more like a proper browser, the tab function is quite nice. And of course you can do this and then just explore all your different tabs that you have open. If you want to go to private, you can just click on here and you can start private browsing. Once you're done, you just go down here. Looks wise, I think I like this browser a lot. It's pretty simple to use. It's not as good as the desktop version. So the same deal here, it kind of applies with Chrome. Chrome on the iPad Pro doesn't have the extension, and neither does Brave on the iPad Pro. So that is a big mix if you're moving from a desktop or laptop to the iPad Pro, and you're hoping that your browser would have all your extensions. That unfortunately is not the case. You're gonna have to basically just find new ways to do all the things you do. Things like ad block even. There is no ad block. I mean, it will tell you in the settings of some of these apps that they're blocking ads, but it's not blocking ads in the way you would hope. You still get a lot of ads on certain websites. Syncing, of course, is available, so you can of course sync between your different devices. So that's pretty cool. There's all this Brave stuff, but I'm not going to go so much into Brave itself. I'm just going through how it's actually use this when comparing it with the desktop version of Brave. And I would say this is very much on the same level as Google Chrome. So I have done a review for Google Chrome the Google Chrome browser on the iPad Pro. This is very much the same level. Very basic. It's good for just general browsing. To be fair, with this you can't even do the reading list thing, so you can only do bookmarks. Chrome and Safari have a place where you can put your reading list. Brave really should add it, because a lot of people who use this, who aren't necessarily trying to replace their iPad Pro with replace their laptop with an iPad Pro, just using this stuff to read. So having a place where you can kind of store the stuff you want to read for later, that would be super useful. And since Chrome and Safari have it, I think Brave should add it. Another thing I wanted to show you all is video. So that's super important, right? So we just pick some shadows in 4K, and then we can see if this works and how it works. So yeah, so I've turned the sound off, so there would normally be sound. I've turned it off. It uses that very same standard iPad or iOS video player. Every app uses it. I'm pretty sure Apple forces them. So you can do this zoomed in version, and then of course you can do picture in picture as well. So that all works fine, and in some cases maybe even better than you would get on a desktop. But yeah, so that's basically everything for Brave. It works fine. It works well with the mouse and keyboard. It can kind of feel like you're replacing, or you're getting a very similar experience from this as you would from your laptop. But as I said before, without the extensions, which, depending on what extensions you use, can really make or break your decision here, because some of us use very elaborate extensions for productivity, whether it's like a to-do list on there or just Amazon stuff, or I don't know. There's so many extensions right now. So if that could be a deal breaker for you. But if you want a decent solid browser with some decent privacy for your iPad Pro, Brave is a decent choice. But I think if you want to do work on the iPad Pro, what you will need is probably Safari, because Safari does give you the full desktop setup, and I think overall for Safari is superior if you want to work on your iPad Pro. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll be making many more videos about the iPad Pro. I have many more videos about iPad Pro browsers and how they work. If you found this helpful, please hit the subscribe button. It takes a moment for you, but it means the world to me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.